Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on a familiar car. It's the 2015 Chevy Cruze. And what's going on with this car is it's leaking coolant. It wasn't overheating, but it was running hot. It's actually leaking out of this water outlet manifold is what the actual part number is called. So we're going to go ahead and replace that today. And as you can see, there's some coolant down there on top of the transmission. And then we're going to have to clean this whole engine bay up because, as we all know, coolant doesn't burn off. It just stays around forever and ever. But shouldn't be a bad job. And hopefully we can get it done in under an hour. I ended up getting a part from Amazon, actually, of all places. ZZP also sells one of these. But it's an aluminum, cast aluminum piece. It's actually pretty nice. Comes with a new seal, new bolts, to actually replace that plastic part. This should not fail ever again. And also comes with a new coolant line. This kit is about 30 bucks versus about 60 for the GM parts, which are prone to failure. So we're going to go ahead and take this old one off and swap this new one on. So first things first, we're going to take this intake tube off. There's that. 8mm nut there. Well, this appears to be a 7mm nut. No. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and disconnect all these hoses to get them out of the way. Do not lose this clip. It does not come with a new one. It is recommended to also replace this while you're in here. Must be a common failure point. And then we get into that was fun. So one other thing working on these cars is you'll need a special socket, which I believe is called an E10. A lot of Chevys use this. So keep that in mind when you're working on this, that you'll probably have to get a new tool or two. Alright, now we're going to clean up this side of the block. Spray a little brake clean on it. Just going to get some of the grime off of it with a little Brillo pad here. Just to make sure that it's clean enough for the gasket to seal. That's the big thing. Wipe this off. Make sure there's no weird ridges or anything like that. clean it up. Put in some of the antifreeze. It's pretty dry. This kit does come with new bolts, which is nice. New gasket. The torque on this is 71 foot-pounds. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of oil, just a little bit of something there. It's not 100% dry. Maybe it's a little antifreeze. So we'll go ahead and get one of these bolts out. The new bolt is a 10 millimeter. This is for the Amazon kit. I can't speak to the other ones, like ZZP and some of those that are on the internet. Oh, well, there goes that guy. Should have used my own little tip. A little bit of masking tape on there so it doesn't fall off. Out of the way. If you do not have one of these remote clamp tools, highly recommend any job where you're going to deal with these hose clamps. These hose clamps aren't terrible, they're actually pretty nice. The part that's not fun and we'll go with your hose. You hook up our sensors. I broke something down. Make sure that one's tight. So we think it is. Cool. One more. Now, how I mix coolant is I get one of these Kool-Aid containers and I put in the water. I've got about half a gallon here, so I'm going to try and mix this as much 50-50 as possible. So I'll just dump this in here. Check it. It's a little over. Then we'll add the coolant. So now we're going to refill the cooling system. We're going to refill it. Just let her go until she's full. So to bleed the radiator, that white screw, you unscrew it, and once water starts coming out, or coolant, that is when you know that you've bled the radiator. After this step, check the reservoir, refill, and do it again. And it's going to bubble and gurgle for quite a while since I drained all the radiator. But fresh new coolant, fresh manifold, new hose. This thing should be ready to rock and roll. So it looks like we fixed the issue. The new part right here was leaking right at this connection. It seemed to be something to do with how this hose fitted on top of here. I was finally able to get this to snap on. I did replace this with the stock part and the new O-ring off the new part. And I also been missing the clip, so I ended up using a clip from the old one. But it's not leaking. It's been running for about 10-15 minutes. No leaks. So one of the issues I ran into on this car, this Chevy Cruze, was this piece. I could not get the stock or aftermarket hose to fit properly where it was snug, where it wouldn't leak. Now the stock hose seemed to actually fit better than the aftermarket hose. But still, it didn't fit. The clip didn't clip down completely, as you can kind of see here. So what I ended up doing was taking the stock fitting off of this, putting it in the aluminum housing, and then using the O-ring off the new one, then putting it all back together. Now it doesn't. So the job's complete. It wasn't the most seamless job, but what I learned is sometimes when you have aftermarket parts, you have to use the factory parts to get everything to fit correctly. So if you run into this issue and you use the same kit, I'll link that down below on Amazon. It's a great kit, but you have to keep in mind that some of the parts may not fit exactly. So you might need to swap parts in and out to make it work correctly. So thanks for joining. Thanks for watching.